Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com.
Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/superliveadventure.
They have over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Let's start the show.
Uh-huh.
Stop it straight.
Wesley, listen to John.
Okay.
I'll tell you when.
Ready? Go.
Something straight and never who you call Ghostbusters, yeah, wait, that's a Ghostbusters too. I got
You want to sing it again?
Ghostbusters too. I love Ghostbusters too. Ghostbusters!
You are listening to the Super Live Adventure Podcast. This episode was recorded in front of a live audience at Full Cup on Staten Island on April 16th, 2013.
And for more information on Full Cup, you can ask Bobby Buns Parker to make a Bobby Buns Parker. Wait till it snows, make a snowman, and put a magical hat on him. Happy birthday! He's John Szeluga.
And he's Chris Sorrentino.
Oh, see how we did that?
I like that.
Yeah,
So
that's a great episode right
Today
there.
on the show, we have your female best friend.
Yeah, Miss Laura Brewy Williams from the Wahoo Skiffle Crazies Jug Band.
Yeah, definitely check them out. Chris is also in that band.
That's right.
You know, I've known Laura a long time now, but really, I realized not that well. And it was doing this podcast that I realized how funny she actually is.
She is
so I'm
hilarious.
glad
She's honestly one of the funniest people I know.
So funny.
Yeah.
Follow her on Facebook. She's the funniest person online. Swear to God.
Dude, stuff her mom says, that's all she posts.
Yeah.
Like, she should do a whole blog or website of...
Real quick before the theme runs out, quality on this episode is not great. We apologize. We did the best we could with it. It's really funny. So check it out. Enjoy it.
Nice buns.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Look at this crowd.
Yeah. Whoa, there's throngs of
man.
people.
I drove a third of the crowd here tonight. That's how big the crowd is.
John has to track the trailer.
Oh, man.
Hey.
How is everybody? Excellent.
Yeah!
You know what? I hope every question I direct to the audience just in one voice that comes
It's
out.
just Greg. Like,
Are you guys having a good time? Yes, I am.
I'm having an okay time.
How are you, buddy?
Good. Definitely hitting this bottle light today. I know. Well, I guess if people are gonna be listening in succession, the last episodes I don't even remember. I was so pissed. The next morning, next afternoon, I text John. I'm like, did I embarrass myself? He's like, only when you took your balls out. But that was after. No, you just sent me a picture of me running around my balls out.
His balls out on a table here.
But it wasn't during the show. It was like after.
Right.
I was doing the monster mash against the window. If nobody knows what a monster mash is, it's when you go up to a window, preferably like a restaurant or a bar where people like can see through the glass, and you just open your drawers or drop your drawer, whatever you want to do, and you press everything against the window, and you go, Monster Man. And that's what you do. But yeah, I was so shit-faced. And I was kicking myself because we had the Minions of Gozer guys on and Sacco Jones on. I love these guys. And I didn't ask any questions I wanted to ask that I could think of. Like,
yeah, and earlier that day I said, I was like, hey man, you know, the guys you have coming on the show, these are like your people, this is what you're really into, you're in charge. He was like, all right, I have all these questions. And then you just were begging them to do Ghostbusters 2
for 2 straight hours. You Ghostbusters 2.
I also think I planted a seed because I was talking about you pulling your balls out a lot, and the audience was like, I don't think they believed it, and I think you in your head were like, I'm going to show everybody.
That could have been, yeah. I would show everybody what I'm all about.
I'll tell you something, it's been a while. It was fun.
How did they hold up since the last time you seen them?
Did
Did they get old? Like, oh, your balls got real old, man. Like your girls are so much more wrinkly than I remember.
No, they're not wrinkly. They're larger and they're hanging lower than they ever did. That's what happens with balls.
Did I look like I was riding a Shar-Pei around the ball?
It's great. It's Chris's balls and Ezra. You made the photo. Wherever Ezra is he in here anymore? No.
I think he said he had to go clean his apartment.
Oh.
And I was like, "Well, you're not gonna listen to the show. No, I gotta go clean."
Really? He hung out until we hit record. I'll see you later.
That's Ezra. I just had a great time with Ezra down in New Orleans. We went down for a friend of ours, Nick Williams' wedding. Nick and Lindsay, congratulations. Nick and Lindsay.
I'm upset I missed that.
Oh, that was a wild time down there. I'm sure we'll get into that with Laura. Laura Brewy Williams was our guest tonight. She was down there with us.
Yeah.
And that's Nick's sister-in-law. That's right. So we'll talk about some crazy antics.
Yeah, I want to hear about it.
From what I can remember, from the pictures, it looked like a good time.
All right, so we'll save that for later?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. How are you're wearing pajamas tonight?
Yeah, I put a thing on Facebook. I was like, let's wear pajamas. And me and Laura are the only ones who wear. And Vin, but you can't tell because Vin always wears pajamas.
Well, this is like the closest I have to pajamas. It's like these.
You go just all black and...
Yeah, they're not as fun. It's like a pattern on it. You're wearing a Ghostbusters.
Yeah, you have a Ghostbusters t-shirt and pajama pants.
Yeah.
I found,
and I got big marshmallows. Like, we're going to have a giant... If anybody wants a giant marshmallow, come up here and take it. We got the giant marshmallows and pajamas.
I was at work. I didn't know you were planning all this on Facebook.
I was trying to get a buzz going.
And I was just like, I'm that weird guy where, I never do stuff like that. As simple, as comfortable as you look. First of all, if I put pajamas on before I came here, I probably would have just gone to sleep and not come here because I'm exhausted. But I'm also that guy, if you say like, hey, you want to come over, we're having a party Saturday, I'm like, yeah, cool. And they're like, oh, yeah, everybody's going to dress like a pirate. I'm like, oh, have fun with that. Like, I'm not, if I have to go buy a hat for your party, like, I'm not the guy that goes to that party.
I hear you. I'm not that guy either.
I don't shit on the people who do that because I see it always looks like a good time. Like, they have big party, they do like the yacht club party here.
Yeah, I don't ever go to shit like that, like 80s night, prom night, and I don't really do that.
Yeah, because I'd have to go buy an outfit.
I would just have to go somewhere, and I usually don't like it.
That's true.
I like staying home and smoking pot and playing video games. That's what I like to do.
You do look comfortable, though.
Oh, I'm super comfortable.
Yeah.
This is such a not regrettable decision.
Is that going to be a thing? Do you want to just wear pajamas every time? Because now I'm wishing that I did.
I'm okay. Pajamas. Yeah, that would be cool. The pajama podcast.
Just bring the energy down a bit. That's what the show needs. Us to be a little more comfortable.
With marshmallows stuffed in our mouth. I was trying to coin the term pajama marshmallow. Pajama marshmallow. Pajama marshmallow. Pajama marshmallow. I know it's pajamalo.
No.
That's not too bad. Marshjama.
That's tough, man. But I want to go to sleep as it is. So I wanted to stay slightly.
Oh, you stay up. You stay up tonight.
I know it's not even that late. We lowered the time. I didn't really sleep. I went to Pennsylvania.
You want a bump of Coke? Stay up.
No, not yet. Not for me.
Just say.
Yeah.
So wait, what happened in PA?
I went to Pennsylvania with my wife and another couple, and I thought like being up in the woods, I was gonna sleep. I gained 4 pounds over the course of a weekend.
What, you weighed yourself before and after?
Yeah.
You're so weird.
I weighed I had to weigh
You're
myself
such a
before.
weird guy.
It wasn't like with the intention of like, let me see how fat I can get in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
I just happened to weigh myself, and then when I came back, I felt this, and I was like 4 pounds heavier.
What the hell did you eat in the woods?
We were just eating like chips and cupcakes. Like we weren't even like eating real food. We were just eating shit, like nonstop. And then I thought I'd eat a bunch of crap, but I thought I'd also like sleep really well, and I slept terribly up there. Mostly because of the other couple. I already have sleep apnea that I'm not taking care of. This guy has sleep apnea, definitely worse than I do. Because he was like choking and struggling all night. They sleep with the TV on loud. They're on the other side of the wall, so I hear the TV, and he's
Wait, a wall in the woods?
Well,
I thought you were in the woods. Oh, I thought you were camping.
We were in a cabin in the woods.
Oh, you missed that. I'm like...
Camping.
Did I say cabin before? I thought I did. We were staying in a cabin in the woods, eating a bunch of shit, and then at night, this is the craziest thing. So their TV's on. I'm already having a hard time sleeping because I'm a light sleeper. And then I hear, I don't want to say any names, I hear the girl go, and my wife is next to me, and she's like, are they doing what I think they're doing? I was like, yeah, I think so. And I hear, but then I hear him go, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. I would love to see what it's like in that room, and I feel bad even making fun of them, but my wife and I are just bad, because my wife grinds her teeth. She also does this like crazy like Miss Pac-Man shit, where it's like all night, like I hear that.
Stuff a cherry in her mouth until they shut up.
I fall asleep and I stop breathing. So she's doing that, and I occasionally go and wake up, and then so we're also like just as terrible. What are you checking on your phone right now?
It's something I wanted to read. It was an Amazon review, and I forgot to pull it up, and I can't find it now. I'm not being rude.
I'm sorry.
It was for the show.
All right.
It was a bit, but now I can't find it.
You were so bored with the story.
No. I was trying to pull this up. I just remembered there's something I wanted to read, and I totally forgot. And yeah, you just texted me to stop texting. I wasn't texting. I was looking at something.
Who texted you to stop texting?
Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
I was just looking for something that I was going to talk about.
It's distracting.
I'm sorry. This is what people talk about, huh? When you're on the phone and they're like, "Oh, this guy's on the phone and he's driving and he's got kids in the car." Like, this is what they mean by it.
Yeah. Well, this guy was supposed to be hosting a show and he's playing his phone and all that.
I was looking for something, but now I won't.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, no, I can't find it. I'll try it for next show.
I didn't sleep well, and me and my wife are.
You never sleep well.
No, I went through a phase. I went through two phases. One, I would wake up screaming. My wife didn't like that. Either like screaming in terror, or there was one time I woke her up just going, yeah, and I woke up to her going like, what? And in my dream, it was just somebody else going, John, and my response was like, yeah. And then I would also wake up screaming in terror. There was a lot of like falling and dying and stuff like that. And I'd scream and scare the shit out of me. And then that switched to waking up laughing hysterically, which I loved, and she hated more than the scream. And the idea behind that is like, if you're gonna wake me up, I at least want you to be terrified, not having a good fucking time. Like if you wake me up in the middle of the night, I don't want you to be smiling and giggling about it.
Yeah.
I want you to think
sleeping with the Joker.
Why did you wake me up? Oh, you thought you were dying? Okay. So yeah, but I sleep terribly.
Yeah.
You know, I always did.
Oh man.
Not you, right?
Sometimes I kick you out of bed. No, I sleep like a log, man. I could go sleep right up here, like right now. I just close my eyes. I'm like a parrot. Like you put a blanket over my head and I'm done. I'm out cold.
I wish, man. I can't do it. Do you want to look for you? Do you want to?
No. I didn't open the text, so the thing was still buzzing. The text from Laura.
Your Amazon review.
So I went to a birthday party this weekend. Somebody we know, and it's just funny. Now, I guess we'll bleep names if whenever we post this, but nobody here knows these people. There's
I mean, I'll bleep names. It's more work for me. If
yeah.
You say a name.
All right.
You can make up a name.
All right. This girl, she's an acquaintance, right? You've met her before. She's a friend of our other friends that had a party. Jewish girl, white girl. Met. Why is that gonna laugh?
I am trying to figure out who you're talking about.
I never met her boyfriend before. I meet her boyfriend for the first time. Black dude, and his name is OJ. That's how he gets introduced to me. This is my boyfriend OJ, and I went. It turned out I'm not talking shit. OJ was a really nice guy. The OJ I met, not the other OJ. But
you're not gonna make me bleep OJ later, right? That defeats.
No. I'm talking about the girl. But as like a white woman introducing people to your boyfriend OJ, big black dude, like isn't that freaky? Like, wouldn't you be scared? Like, you bring home the mom, like the guy who cut a white woman's head off.
Yeah, see, I didn't even think about it. That doesn't bother me that much. But then, one of my
Like,
sisters.
you bring him home, and it's like.
Right, like my racist parents, if one of my sisters brought a black guy home, it would already be bad. And then she was like, his name's OJ?
Yeah, like.
That's hilarious.
And if that was your nickname, like, wouldn't you just go by a different nickname? Or wouldn't you be like, oh, hey, I'm Juice. Why do they call you Juice? Because I had a different nickname a long time ago. Like, wouldn't you just come up with a different name? Like, why would you? That's like, my nickname is Ted Bundy. Why did I call you that? Like, I'm a strangler.
I don't know, but the thing is, how old is this guy?
He was old. He had to be in like our age, like mid-30s.
So he had the nickname before that went down.
Probably. But that's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't you change it? Like, if all of a sudden a Chris Sorrentino was on trial and like everybody talked about forever during that time, like, I would not go by Chris Sorrentino anymore.
Really?
Yeah. I'd be like, oh, it says CJ.
That's what it says on your driver's license.
Yeah, it is.
They can't fit his full name.
They couldn't fit it.
Yeah, I wouldn't change my name.
No? You'd still be OJ?
I don't. The odds of a John.
I would
Szeluga.
never be OJ. Like,
It'd still be OJ.
yeah, like, do you
If you guys want to start calling me OJ now, I'll take that nickname. That's how okay I am with it.
But OJ was a cool guy. If OJ or OJ's girlfriend ever hear this, I'm not talking shit. He was a really cool guy. I liked the guy. We were talking. I just couldn't get past the name. It just blew my fucking mind.
Did you find out what OJ stood for?
No, I didn't want to get into that shit, man.
Yeah, there's not a lot of O names out there.
What's the real OJ? Arenthal? Yeah. Yeah, what could his name be? Like, maybe it was that as well. Maybe his dad was a big football fan and,
Sure, yeah, it could have been. Or a big Orange Juice fan. What if his nickname is just a cool alternative to being named Orange Juice? that changes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I feel even worse because his name probably is Orange Juice.
Orange Juice. Oh, I feel terrible if his name's really Orange Juice.
Yeah, this is my brother Apple.
That's Gwyneth Paltrow's kid, right?
Yeah.
Apple. What's that? Apple Martin?
Almost an apple martini.
Oh, yeah, it is almost an apple martini.
Oh,
I
it's
didn't know
so
that part of
weird.
it.
Yeah, I didn't know Martin either. I forgot about that Gwyneth Paltrow as a kid.
You're supposed to fuck up the middle name. That's how I feel. Because like you don't have to use the middle name. If you're gonna get weird with it.
What's your middle name again? Michael, right?
Michael. It's
Yeah.
like two. I'm John, and then I'm not a junior. If I was my dad is John.
Yeah.
My dad is John Valentine.
Which I think is the most amazing middle name.
He hated that name.
How could you hate that name,
And
Valentine?
my mother also
I'm a
hated-
lover.
My mother also wanted to make it very clear that I was not named after my father. She liked the name John. She just happened to marry a guy named John, but she saw to it that I wasn't named after him.
I once knew a guy named John, and he had a brother named Jack, which is insane because isn't Jack a nickname for John?
Yep.
It is.
Is that
That's John Greg back at the fifth. But it was John Greg, Jack, they killed him.
so? It's John. It's so weird.
My father. This is worse. My parents divorced, and my father remarried, and his wife got pregnant with a boy, who's my brother, my half brother Matthew. But before he was born, my father called to ask if I'd be okay with them naming the kid John.
Seriously?
Yeah, that seriously happened. And he was like, his wife was Christine also.
Yeah, I think
Which is
that's
already
weird.
confusing.
Yeah, John and
My wife
Christine.
were John and Christine Szeluga, my father and his. It's so fucking confusing already. But he wanted to have another
And used to
kid.
make me call myself Christine for a while too. So it gets even worse.
My stepfather always asks how Chris is doing, and I never know if it's you or my wife because he calls you both. It's like very confusing.
Say the fat one, or?
But my dad really asked me that, and it was his wife had the same story my mother had, just always liked the name John, and it was like not after my father. And her thing was like, well, I don't have a kid named John. But it was weird because he did. The only way I resolved that was he goes, do you think that would be weird? And I was like, yeah. George Foreman now? Like, what do we
Yeah. Wait, but doesn't your dad not like to go by the name John? Doesn't he call himself Chuck?
No, he goes by John now. But my dad's nickname was Chuck growing up.
Why?
I don't know. I heard, one story I heard was that was the noise he made when he sucked on a pacifier. That's like a really story, if that's true. I think it was because my grandfather was John. It's confusing.
Yeah.
So they called him Chuck.
All right. I'll take
But
it.
he was Chuck. He has Chuck tattooed on his arm.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be Chuck anymore. So now he's just this guy named John who has a Chuck tattoo.
He has
very explained.
an ex-boyfriend tattooed on his
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And it's supposed to, he used to get so mad when I was a kid. It's a tattoo of an eagle carrying a banner that says Chuck on it. But it's like the shittiest eagle. And as a kid, I wasn't even trying to be shitty. I was like a kid who's like correcting my father. And he was like, yeah, it's an eagle that says Chuck. And I was like, that's a duck.
Yes, I do know
like
this.
a
Yeah.
duck, and it was like Chuck the duck. He got so mad, and I would just keep saying like, no, that's a duck, that's not an eagle. Drove him crazy. But in the end, the way I got my dad to not do that was I just said, why don't you call Grandma, his mother? Why don't you call Grandma? And that was the end of
That'll kill it.
2 grandchildren named John from the same
Wow.
father. Yeah. But that was my dad. I'll tell you another. This is even, I probably won't get a lot. This is even a sadder story. My father gave my.
I don't know why it's so funny, but it is.
Hopefully you laugh at my pain because he gave my grandmother a ring that had all the birthstones of all the grandkids on it. And there's a lot of grandkids. And he gives her the ring, and she's thrilled. And she looks at it, and she turns it, and then I see her get upset. And I was like, oh shit, he forgot my cousin who passed away. Because I had a cousin who passed away young, and I could understand why maybe my dad would forget, because it's years ago. But, at the same time, she would get upset if that wasn't on the ring. And my grandmother goes, where's John and Brian? It was me and my brother. His 2 children. And
His
the
first
2
children.
grandkids.
Yeah.
Yeah. He completely forgot me and my brother on the ring.
Oh.
She had this weird ring.
Good one, Chuck. Oh, man.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to know why I get up here, that's
Every once in a while I wake up at night screaming and then laughing.
that's it. And why I love hugging adult males. I look for approval and affection everywhere. Now you know it. There's a few guys with beards in the room that's like, he does hug a lot.
Yeah.
He does hug me a lot.
I like your hugs.
Yeah.
I hug you back. I'm not even joking. Like, me and John will touch base and like we have a little conversation on the phone, and we end every phone call like, all right, good night, man. I love you.
Yeah.
I love you too. Like, we end every phone
It used to
call
be once in a
with
while,
I love you.
and now it's like every
I was like, do love you though.
I love you.
But yeah, we are so gay.
Yeah.
So flaming for each other.
Yeah.
I like that though. So back to the middle name things. I was named, my middle name is Jason, which is after my dad's favorite movie, Jason and the Argonauts. But I got to name my kids' middle names. Like I got to pick them. Like we discussed the first names. And
You also love your kids' first names. It's not like that was
there was no fighting. Yeah, it's Wesley and Wyatt.
Yeah.
But the middle names are it's Wesley Liam and Wyatt Logan. So, and I got to pick Liam
Right.
after Liam Neeson.
That's
My
right.
favorite Jedi, Qui-Gon Jinn.
He also has the biggest dick in Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
From whom?
From who? It's just like a thing. I don't know from who. I don't know. Yeah.
He's packing?
I think it was like Milton Berle and then Liam Neeson. Isn't that how that worked?
He's a big dude. I always heard Irish guys are little, though.
He's a huge man.
That's all right. That's
Maybe John Hamm now, too, because that's another thing. He's
Who?
like, John Hamm, I think, is
John
another
Hamm.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See John Hamm packing some pork.
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
Hamm.
Let the voice changes when we talk about John
Hamm's
Hamm's cock. John
He's a
Hamm.
good-looking guy.
He's the best looking guy.
I saw when I went to when I saw Saturday Night Live, like live, he was the host. It was the only time I
See,
got to
that's a
go.
good.
It was great, and it was even cool because Coldplay played, and it was the show that Amy Poehler had her kid on. So she was there for the Thursday dress rehearsal.
That sounds like she gave birth on us. That would be the greatest. Like
right before, so they like ran out, like they didn't have sketches.
Right.
So Coldplay played like a concert for us. We had like an extended free Coldplay concert.
That's a good story.
It was awesome.
I had the guy, I don't remember the actor's name. Who's the guy who played Jesse Eisenberg in The Social Network? And he was in...
Yeah.
Oh, he's Jesse Eisenberg?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, right. Jesse Eisenberg, who played Mark Zuckerberg. Thank you.
The Jew that played the Jew.
I like that. Yeah, that is what I sounded like just now. Huh? Well, that's who I had. They were both there that night, but I had that and the musical guest was Nicki Minaj.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hated the episode. It was like I was so excited to be at SNL for the first time, and it's cool being in that studio and seeing that setup and everything. But I hated the show that I went to.
Yeah,
I found myself wanting to leave halfway through it.
Really?
Yeah.
What cast was it? Like it was like a recent one, or?
Yeah, it was maybe like a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a pretty recent cast.
I think we went like 4 or 5 years ago. It's like when me and Brienne.
Well, Brienne knows somebody or is related to somebody.
No, yeah, one of her friends. This guy, he's one of the guys who breaks down and puts up the sets like in between everything.
Okay.
So, but they haven't talked it forever, which sucks because I would love to go back on. But it's cool because he like after like everything ended, he let us go up and like we stood like we have pictures standing on the set, like where the guest comes out and does a monologue, and it was in October, so we're holding up like an SNL pumpkin. It's like carved in there, and then he took us down to Conan's studio when he was still there. And I have pictures sitting at Conan's desk, like
that's great.
Yeah, it was.
That's
really cool. And you know what? Maybe we should bleep his name because I don't know if he'd get in trouble for that.
Oh, for bringing you down to Conan's studio?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll probably cut that whole segment out.
There you go.
It's terrible.
It was so interesting.
Look how quiet it is out there. I think we should cut the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think we should start over.
You want to start over?
Why are you wearing pajamas? So what's your plan with these giant marshmallows?
I don't know. I just like wanted to wear pajamas and eat giant marshmallows. I thought it was going to be a thing.
That works. That's enough of
and me and Laura and Vin are the only ones. Damn you, Vin. No, they're open. Yeah, as I say, anybody wants some giant? Look how big these marshmallows are.
It's like Rosie O'Donnell throwing a cookie.
Whoa, nice. Throw marshmallows out to the audience.
Oh, good, go.
I literally was talking to Brian McGuckin. Give it up for Brian. Thank you, Dennis. Give it up for the bartender, Dennis, and Brian McGuckin in the booth.
What's his name? Dennis? Emperor Dennis?
Emperor Dennis.
Emperor Dennis.
Yeah. Emperor Dennis.
Right? I remember that.
Yeah. Because you felt that if Kevin Devlin, if we said that he was the good bartender, that he has to be the evil one?
Yeah, I guess. Is that what it was? I was so drunk.
I think that was your logic. Was that you didn't want to take the title of best bartender away from Kevin, so you had to just say that the bartender now is the nemesis.
He is powerful, but his nemesis. Yeah. Like you got the Yoda Palpatine thing going on.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
The evil bartender.
You all right with that then?
I'm cool with that.
All right. But I was literally talking to Brian McGuckin today about not.
Brian's up in the booth again.
Because he'll eat anything. Marshmallows will get him to eat something he won't normally eat.
Like so what? What does Brian normally eat?
He's not Brian, you were saying you're not a huge chocolate guy. Like it has to be combined with other things. So like you put marshmallows in there, he'll have it.
Not straight up chocolate. Yeah.
You throw marshmallows in cereal, he eats it. For me, you throw marshmallows in cereal, I don't want it anymore. Like I'm not. Yeah, I like s'mores, but other than that, I'm not a huge marshmallow
Like
guy.
a Lucky Charms or something.
Yeah, I have no desire.
Oh, you kidding me?
Nope.
I don't know what you're missing, man. What about Rice Krispie treats and stuff like that? Those are like Fruity Pebble treats.
Yeah, I still never. You know what? To this day, I'll get excited if I see a Rice Krispie treat and not really love it when I eat it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I had
God's jizz in your mouth.
When I was in
amazing. I would eat Rice Krispie treats like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I know, and I think most people would.
If people let me. Usually people just slap it out of my hand.
When I was in Mexico for my brother's wedding, the resort we were in, for breakfast, like they had like cereal that was covered in chocolate. So it would look like a piece of candy, and it was just like chocolate covered, like Fruit Loops and stuff.
Oh, that's weird.
And they had like cornflakes covered in chocolate, and I was eating that, loving it.
Yeah,
and then realized
the whole purpose.
Well, and then I was
supposed to be like
I was drunk, and then I sobered up, and I was like, oh, that's what they do with the old cereal.
Yeah,
It was like a big, like all inclusive place with like a buffet, and they had cereal, and then they had like stale chocolate covered cereal.
I have the same problem with Wendy's. I used to love the chili, and I would pour it on my fries.
Oh, it's just that's what you do with the old hamburgers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh, eating gray burgers and a fucking sauce.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Why?
What about like the Wendy's commercials now? Like there used to be real Wendy. Now there's some other redhead. They're not calling her Wendy.
Oh, really? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
And somebody
Maybe
was
they're trying to keep up with the Ronald McDonald thing. There's always like a new Ronald McDonald, and he progressively gets like creepier.
Yeah.
Like the one from our childhood wasn't bad, and now like you see him now. and
The
he's
one
like
from our childhood was like the one clown that didn't freak me out.
Yeah.
Up close, he definitely would. Like, I still didn't want to meet the guy
No.
at all. Like, I wouldn't want to hang out.
Clown with hamburgers in his pockets. It's terrible.
I hate all that shit. Like, I feel bad even for kids that have, when they have like the costume characters and they have like Elmo and Cookie Monster and stuff.
Yeah.
Here's what would be successful at a birthday party or in a parade is just a person carrying an Elmo puppet that is the size of Elmo on the TV show. That's Elmo. Kids know that Elmo is not 6 feet tall and sweating with like a human face you can kind of see through a screen.
Smells like weed.
With I dated a girl who used to work for one of those places, and she was sweet, but you know what I'm talking about.
Did you ever bang her in a costume?
Well, she
There we go.
she wanted me to. She
Wait, just 1 sec. I'm sorry. Rob Music showed up in his pajamas.
Rob Music's in his PJs.
Yes. And a teddy bear hat and his handlebar mustache. And it's a one-piece pajama with the flap.
I think this is a new. I'll wear pajamas next time.
You will?
Yeah.
High five! Yeah.
I like the idea now.
High five we ever had.
I don't. Yeah. Have we ever high five before?
I don't normally high five. It just seems appropriate. I like the Top Gun high five when you do the pop and then the back. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm famous for that. They call me Top Gun Chris. When I go get Rice Krispie treats, they go, Top Gun Chris! And then they all line up to five me.
Wow.
I call them all Goose.
Oh, they're all Goose.
They're my geese. All right, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Shit. I don't remember what I was
Sex in
saying.
a costume character.
Oh yeah. She wanted to. She definitely beeped me when I was working. Yeah, we're going back. It's
Yeah.
this is like 99. And yeah, I went to a payphone and she was like, "Hey, I started the job today, and I'm working a party tomorrow. I'm gonna be Cinderella, and they let me bring the costume home. You should come over." And I was like,
Cinderella? Yeah, that would have been great.
I
I thought you could say like Cookie Monster.
She used to, because she was great. She used to call me, no. She used to get those costumes too, but no, the first time it was one of the Disney princesses. I think it was Cinderella.
Awesome.
She used to call I'd get that, I would always call her and I'd be at work because I used to work like the late shift, and it was always like, hey, I made pierogies, I made gołąbki. It was all like this good Polish. It was this cute Polish girl used to cook all the time, and like it was that was cool. But she was excited about this costume, and I I went over her house, and it was just her in her room crying. Wearing this like dirty Cinderella dress, and she just looked at me and went, "It smells." I was like, "All right, just take it off."
Maybe you shouldn't have cooked pierogies in it, honey.
Because those things go through. People are marching in parades. They're going to parties. That place, Scott's Magic. And I'm not getting in trouble for because this is a true thing. Like, don't hire Scott's Magic. And if Scott's Magic is working any event, don't eat anything that they're putting together, because she worked there and another buddy of mine worked there, and they had like a cotton candy machine. At the end of the night, they're supposed to clean that thing. Well, at the end of any night, especially people underpaid, they drop it off at the warehouse and they pull the gate down. They don't want to deal with it. So the next time they get to that thing, it's just loaded with ants and roaches and everything else. So standard practice was spray it down with a can of Raid, hose it, and then go to the next party.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I haven't had cotton candy since I dated that girl.
Wow.
Because I heard that. I heard similar things about ice cream trucks and stuff like that too.
Really?
Yeah. Just cleaning with Raid.
Shit. Well,
that's it. If I go to an ice cream truck,
autism, anybody? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, awful.
That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you can't do that. You know, it's kids and like I tell you, my job, I work in a hospital and I deliver supplies, and if it's just anybody, I need a colostomy bag, I'm like, yeah, I'll be there in 4 hours. But if it's for a kid, I need formula, I bring it. You know what I mean? You don't want to fuck a kid over. Some old bastard, who cares?
Somebody's, I wonder, anybody have a grandparent in the hospital or anything right now? That would be the best.
My
if somebody's just
bag is full. Man, I'm playing Mega Man 2 on my phone. Fuck you, man.
Yeah,
it's all about Bubble Man now.
Enjoy your game, man. I think my grandmother died screaming, but enjoy enjoy Mega Man. She, I only know the old woman next to her said she called for help all night, but whatever. I got to know her. Mega Man, huh?
Mega Man. Yeah.
Mega Man.
Mega Man 2.
I've been playing Q*bert a lot.
I heard. So wait, what's up? You went to the video game place with Vin.
Yeah. So
tell me about this.
Vin Forte and I went to this video game place. It's Digital Press. Is that right? Yeah.
What part of New Jersey were I'm the Where were we?
In Clifton, New Jersey.
Clifton, New Jersey.
Oh, Clifton's cool. Yeah, I was just out in Clifton for something.
I'm the asshole, by the way, that I always go places with people, and they'll be like, "Oh, Jersey? Where in Jersey?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And they're like, "You were there." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't."
Yeah.
Between somebody else driving and if something happened to that person, I'd use GPS. I don't.
I would just die in Clifton, New Jersey.
But no, they have all vintage games, and I was in there because I grew up with Commodore 64 and the Atari 5200, and they had games and stuff. And I was talking to the guy; he knew every game I was talking about. The craziest thing there is that I saw they had Atari games and Nintendo games that were priced $40, $50, where everything else was $5, and they had a gold Nintendo cartridge that said Zelda Outlands.
Yeah. And
I was like, I didn't know what that was, and I was like, was that Japan or something? The guy was like, no, that just came out. There are geeks out there that are writing code and making their own games,
which I think is brilliant,
for the old systems. And you can go to the store and get a new unlicensed regular Nintendo game. You can get a new Zelda game for Nintendo, which I didn't even know that was a.
Me neither. I didn't know this till you told me, and I so want to get in on this weird black market video game underground thing. That's that's the scene I've been looking for my whole life.
Well, I don't disagree. I had that thought of I can get into this, and I right away went back to I remember spending all of my money as a kid on. Do you remember when Super Nintendo games were $80?
Yeah. VHS tapes were that much when they first came out. When a VHS, a movie first came out, it was $80, $100.
DVDs too, but I remember blowing a lot of money on Super Nintendo games. It's one of the few things that's actually gotten cheaper.
Yeah, that's true. But seriously, so how do you play these new Nintendo games? You have to own a Nintendo?
You can own a Nintendo,
sell an emulator type of thing?
Yeah, well, enough time has gone by where you can buy. There are other companies that can make systems now. I have this thing called the Retro Duo at home.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about it. I've never seen this thing.
But they told me they have a new one in the works that's going to be Bluetooth wireless controllers, but it's like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy games, Sega Genesis. It's like it takes all these old cartridges, and you can sit on your couch wirelessly and just play any game.
It's like a dream come true. Like, can I buy one at this place?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It sounds like they're
So
paying
gonna
us
do
to
it.
advertise.
I know. It's.
Hey, can I buy one at this place?
And me and my friends enjoy this for
But
one
yeah,
low price.
You have to go. You'd absolutely love it.
Yeah, I totally. Well, Vin keeps asking me, and I always have some shit to do because it's legitimately like I work Monday through Friday, and then I'm off Saturday and Sunday. But Sunday it's always like running around, and I have band practice at night. So like Saturday's my only open day, and everything gets crammed in that day. I've yet to go to this fucking place, and I'm dying to go to this place. I promise, man. I know. I do want to bring the kids. At least one of them. I'm not bringing them both.
Are they playing? Is Wesley playing video games yet?
Oh yeah, totally.
What's he play?
Kung Fu Panda on the Xbox 360. He's a big fan of that.
Okay.
He loves Mega Man, but it's too hard for him. Castlevania, same thing. It's like he's more into watching me play. But like I started off with Nintendo games, and it's like, all right, just start playing Nintendo games, and then I want you to graduate to Super Nintendo, like the way we did. But
What was your first system though? Because
it was Nintendo. Actually, no, I'm sorry. 2600, Atari 2600.
I literally had a Commodore 60. I used to put in a floppy disk, and I had to type multiple lines of code to launch the game.
Yeah, that would have drove me nuts.
But the Ghostbusters game for Commodore 64,
That
and
was
the
a
guy
cool
said,
game.
it was
Yeah.
the craziest
Yeah,
game.
I know.
Any game where you got to the next level and it was a different type of gameplay. Like before that, you're a guy walking around. The next level, you're driving a car. That blew my fucking mind.
Had the ghost vacuum on the roof, and
Yeah,
my
you could
cousin
buy-
had. I
You
used
could
to
buy
love
different
that
cars
game.
and customize them. So I would always have,
Marshmallow
like,
detector, like it was
my-
crazy.
My Ghostbusters car was like a purple hearse. That was
Yeah.
like my favorite car.
And they had a Volkswagen. I think it was like an orange Volkswagen Beetle. Like it was just bugged out.
I had that. I had a Superman game, and I had a thing called Koala Paint, which was a tablet. This is like early '80s, and I was drawing on a tablet, like a Commodore 64.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about this. Didn't you talk about it? And the guy knew all about it.
The guy in the store,
Like
there
you
wasn't
and him
a
are the only people in the world that know about this.
There wasn't a single thing that I mentioned, but I went to my mother's house, and every game, every instruction manual, the controllers, the original boxes, everything was there but the system to actually play the games.
Right.
And the guy said that wasn't a popular Atari model.
Yeah.
And so I want to play the games that I grew up with, and everything is like 2600 or what came later, like 7800.
I don't even remember.
And people love that system because they're like, oh, it plays those games in 2600. I was like, well, what about the games I have? And they're like, like nothing plays that but that old system. And he said the biggest problem is that the controllers for the system that I have all deteriorate. So you just can't.
You couldn't use.
It's
other
really hard
like,
to find a working controller. No,
Really?
and that was a controller that had like rubber buttons.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, those buttons used to get stuck.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine 30 years later. So yeah, there are games that I'm like dying to play again.
Well, there's emulators, man.
Yeah, well, that's the route that I have to go. And they have like USB ports and stuff that you can plug in different controllers into your computer.
Yeah.
They have a USB thing where you can plug in 2 Super Nintendo controllers into any computer to play emulators.
Man, that's so awesome.
You gotta go.
Oh. Clifton, New Jersey. Huh?
We should like either say a funny thing or bring up our first guest. I think it's time.
It is time. All right, we're gonna bring up our guest, good friend of ours. She's in she's in the band I'm in, the Wahoo Skiffle Crazies. She plays the washboard and a harmonica. She does some background vocals. And Laura Brewery-Williams, everybody.
And you also described her as your best female friend.
Yeah, because I talk to her the most out of any other female other than my fiance. Like we're texting all the time. Like she's the type of friend where like we'll be like in a room with somebody and they're and like we'll text each other like, look at this guy's shirt. I know, right? Like she's like that. Like, I like
We
that.
like to make fun of people together.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys
That's
do?
what we have a lot in
It's
common.
part of what brings us together.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn my chair so I can get a good look at you
I'm gonna get comfortable.
in your pajamas.
Look, I made you guys something.
Ooh.
Because last time I was here, you said you needed.
Yes.
Oh,
I think I thought I was gonna tell Rob Music. Rob Music is supposed to hold it and be the ring girl.
Oh, man.
Thank you. Oh, this is so awesome. Popsicle sticks and everything. You are such a mom. I love it.
Yeah, it's very mom thing. of me to
And
do.
construction paper. I love it.
Excellent.
Excuse me. Sorry. Oh, so what's new?
What's new? My daughter's making her communion.
Oh, yeah. We were just
Yeah.
talking a little about that.
Reluctant. Exactly.
Boo God.
Exactly. But she begged me to make her communion, so I couldn't say no.
That's so backwards. I've never heard of a kid wanting.
I taught her I thought I'm being a good mom. I'm being open-minded. I'm teaching her to be this and that. We taught her about Buddhism. We taught her about different religions. And then one day she's like, why aren't I making my communion? You made your communion. Daddy made his communion. You taught me that all religions are great. And now I had to let her.
Did she hear from other people that you get money in a party? Maybe is that her angle with it?
Yeah, I totally think the party angle was in. And I'm all for that. Why shouldn't she get money? She's going to buy a car with this money in a day, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what I
I
did.
spent all my communion money and my confirmation money on G.I. Joes.
Oh, did you really?
I remember, I took it, my mom put it in a drawer. She's like, all right, we're going to hold on to that. And then, I just took it and bought G.I. Joes from Gabriel, the kid down the street. I bought all his old Joes. And she flipped out. My confirmation came around. I did the same thing.
Really?
Not from
my
Gabriel,
parents
but-
didn't let me have my money. They took my money.
They just, put it in a drawer and, this is her.
But you say they took your money like they took your money and put it away.
They put it away.
Yeah,
And
my
then
father
I
took
bought
my
a
money.
Mustang.
Really?
Dad took my money.
Yeah. I don't know. Did I tell that story before where he gave me a bunch of Prudential stock recently?
I don't know. I don't know if you told it. I don't remember.
I guess I didn't. I don't remember.
Sorry.
I hate that I don't remember what because we get drunk and we talk for 2 hours and then I don't remember what we said but if you don't know the story, then I didn't tell it. No, my dad called me and he was like, hey, I'm kind of busy, but I need your social security number. And his name's also John Szeluga. And I was like, why? He's like, and he literally was like, because I'm your father. What's your social security number? I was like, I don't know. What do you do? He's like, I'm trying to do something nice. So I gave it to him reluctantly. And then he goes, all right, I'm going to be by your apartment later. And he comes by with paperwork and he goes, I have 17 shares of Prudential stock. I'm signing it over to you. And I was like, all right, is everything okay? Because I'm worried. It's just the weird, I'm giving stuff away before I die thing. And he's like, can I just do something nice? And in my head, I'm like, no, you can't. When does that happen? No, you can't. And finally he was like, do you remember when you were 5 and you won that raffle? And I was like, yeah, because in kindergarten, I won a raffle. I won $500. And he's like, and I told you, I actually sat you down and I explained how the bank works in a savings account and how the money would grow. And I was like, yeah. It's like, I didn't do.
Oh, my God.
I didn't do any of that. And it always bothered me.
Why, Chuck? Why?
It was 20 plus years of guilt. And he was like, so this is that plus interest and that was it. And that was, that's how.
Oh, my goodness.
But I thought when I bought my first car, I thought some of that money was that raffle money from 1985.
He was off the hook.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't know. It wasn't anything that I knew about. It literally bothered him. And
For 20 years.
yeah, over
I think I owe my kid $420.
Really?
No, I do. We owe her $400.
yeah. Well, but here's the thing: if it's going toward rent and groceries and stuff, I don't think that's
I paid for you to be alive, right?
Right.
So why do I have to pay that?
right. You're not driving a BMW like my father was.
Right. Right.
That's the difference.
With that $500.
With the $500, yeah, that's what he did.
$500 BMW.
$500 BMW.
It's the worst BMW you will ever see, but you drive it.
He drove that into the ground.
Really?
250,000 miles when that thing died.
Jeez.
250,000 miles, yeah.
God damn.
Applause. So when is her communion's coming up?
April 27th.
Wow. Okay.
So we have to do Jesus things.
Is she asking questions? I remember
Jesus thing.
Like whatever the Jesus
Gotta
things
grow
are.
a beard and
over Lent,
fish.
she was like, it's a sin. Like we were eating pizza. We were eating pepperoni pizza. She's like, I can't eat meat. It's a sin. I was like, it's not a sin. And she's getting conflicting. She thinks things are sins. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't really want any part of it. She thinks she's going back. She's not going back because she's done. You do the communion and then you're done.
You're going back to what, like religion?
She's not
do your confirmation, but that's when they tell you don't masturbate and gay people are bad. So we're not going to do that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Communion was fun. Like communion practice was because they can't. Well, I mean, maybe they just don't bless some of the Eucharist, but where I went, they gave us sweet tarts to practice with. So it was like fun. Like we'd go eat candy every Wednesday until it was time for communion.
She comes home with presents. It's kind of evil. Like she comes back from
like a
CCD
cult.
and she's like, I got these presents. I love CCD.
Yeah, it's a cult.
Like this is school. You shouldn't love it.
I tried the Kool-Aid, Mom. Like, no.
But it's the craziest school though, because it's like there's communion and then later there's confirmation and with all the different steps you have to take, at no point do you have to read the book. It's just kind of here's a coloring book version that we came up with. It's always like a workbook or something. They don't want you to read the book.
I had my communion and I was confirmed. I do not know a single thing that they taught me. I know stuff I've read from the Bible, on my own, trying to read the Bible. Has anybody ever tried to sit down and actually read the Bible?
Yeah, Brian. I'll speak for Brian McGuckin. Who, outspoken atheist, but he read the whole thing.
If you read Leviticus, that's fun.
Really? It's like trying to read the Silmarillion drunk.
You, plague of boils and stuff like that.
All right. That stuff is cool. That's Old Testament, right?
Yeah,
Old Testament stuff is cool.
All the fucked up things are cool.
But I wonder about, because Christine and I are talking about having kids, and we've wondered what to do, because we're definitely not Catholics anymore. And that actually, I came to that realization during the Tim Duffy episode of the show.
So
you realize that?
It's a recent revelation.
There were things coming out of my mouth where I was like, oh, I'm acknowledging publicly that I don't buy into any of that shit. But I'm not exactly, I'm more agnostic than anything. But it's
this applause sign is genius. Thank you.
I even made it sturdy with the extra.
It's excellent.
Amazing. Oh.
But we wonder what to do with kids, because a kid raised without religion is Chris Sorrentino.
My dying uncle was like, "What are you, crazy? You're not going to really raise a kid with religion?" He yelled at me because I was thinking I wouldn't raise my kid with some kind of form of religion.
So but you actually talked about the different religions
and thinks that Greek gods are real, and she has proof. I don't know what the proof is.
That's
but
awesome.
She has proof. So she already is.
She has proof.
That's awesome.
She has proof. She's like, those stories are real.
I saw a movie with Hercules in it. I met Kevin Sorbo. It must be real.
I saw Lou Ferrigno's Hercules movie. By the way, that's on Netflix.
Oh no way, it is?
Yeah. Don't watch past a bear getting thrown into outer space, but you don't have to watch long before you get to see a bear get thrown into outer space. It's a man in a bear costume having a fist fight with Lou Ferrigno before he throws it.
And he's in a loincloth.
He throws it into space and then a constellation forms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like the creation.
True story.
It's Hercules after Star Wars came out, so it's kind of like, oh, we'll do that, but we'll have lasers and stuff in it. It's a lot of. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. But so she believes in that and Catholicism.
No, I think she just wants a party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is.
Well, good for her. That's a smart move then.
Get them cash in.
Start her own religion one day.
Right.
That's where the money is at. If you can convince people to follow you.
They tell them the nice things in the site. They're like, don't kill people. And I can get behind that.
Yeah.
It's like not too bad yet.
No, there aren't a lot of people. I mean, that's the thing. Like, people will get mad at the church and they'll get mad at other things. There's not a lot of like Jesus haters, even in terms of just Jesus as a character and a story.
Yeah.
But you know, it's.
Can I make a confession to you? I'm not even just saying this, like, because I never really felt comfortable with Jesus. Like, I never, like...
You were an altar boy, weren't you?
I know, for me, it was because I had a painting of him above my bed growing up. Yeah.
Oh, what are you, Puerto Rican?
Who did that to
My Polish Catholic grandmother.
Really?
She went to bed, I mean, with the rosary every night. It was like, there were pictures of the Pope and yeah, she had like statues of saints all out, like out on the...
States?
Statues of State, little Colorado.
I'll cut that one. That's right. Statues of saints. Then she had all the different saints out on the lawn and stuff.
Shit.
And yeah.
Oh, Mary and the Half Shell.
The Pope...
I thought it was reserved only for Ginzos.
No.
Do that too? I learn something new every day.
Polish Catholics are hardcore. Like,
really?
She was big into it.
Thing.
I mean, when we ate dinner for Christmas or Easter or anything like that, all of the raw ingredients were brought to a church to be blessed before
Seriously?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's nuts.
There were holidays.
To laugh? Like, do people normally do that, or just she did that?
There were people who were doing it. Not a lot of people, but she did that. I mean, there were holidays that you wouldn't even really know about. She did a lot of, you know, Catholicism is constantly. Did somebody fart in the audience? Is that what just happened? You came to the right place. It's fine. Please, we encourage it here.
Jesus makes me fart, man.
Do it enough, and we'll put microphones out there.
We should have seat microphones.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be.
Just weird squirming and farting.
That would be awesome.
No.
Just alternate versions. But yeah, my grandparents were real serious about that stuff. Like, my grandmother, when she would fast for a Catholic holiday, she was not eating.
Yeah.
Wait, Catholics fast?
Yeah, but
it's just like a Muslim.
they bend the rules a lot, and that's where you start
Making up their own business.
Oh, constantly. It was like
My problem with it is too much like, oh, this is what we do. It's never like the same like that. Like, I never heard, and I've known some really religious people. I've never heard of anybody getting their ingredients blessed before they cook the meal. Like, that's just, I'm not saying, you know, your grandmother.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying
talking
that's
shit about your grandmother.
No, I'm not talking shit about your
That's what he's
grandmother.
doing.
I met
That's
your
what he's
grandmother. I
doing.
met your grandparents.
but
It just seems like just people make up their own thing. It's so inconsistent.
there's rules, and here's the thing, like, when you start to look at, you know, when the Pope comes out and says, like, if St. Patrick's Day falls on a Friday during Lent, you can have corned beef. That's when you're like, oh, this isn't God at all. This is a guy making in a big hat making up rules. And then what bothers me more are the Catholics who make up their own rules and then still call themselves Catholics.
Well,
Here's the thing. If you don't agree with one thing the Pope says, guess what? You're not Catholic. Like, I'm sorry to break that news to you, but that was my sister-in-law. We got into a weird thing, and I got yelled at by my wife because it was the night before her wedding in a Catholic church. But she was going on and on about Chick-fil-A and their stance on gay marriage, and I was like, you do realize you're getting married in a Catholic church tomorrow that you're like giving money to? Because she was like, I'll never eat a Chick-fil-A, and I was like, but you're gonna.
yeah.
And she's like, well, I'm Catholic. I agree with some things, but I don't agree with that. And I was like, oh, then you're not Catholic. Can we do something else tomorrow?
Yeah, it's all
and she got like,
you don't pick and choose.
I had to, you know, I got elbowed pretty hard and I had to drop that argument. But there are those people who are like, yeah, I'm Catholic. I don't believe you have to confess your sins, and I don't believe you have to go to church ever. And I'm like, well, those are the rules. The weirdest thing about going into a Catholic church for like Christmas, it was just a bunch of people that if they really believed in the religion, like, we're all here to acknowledge the fact that we're going to hell and we should just go do something else instead. Like, let's just go do anything. The picking and choosing of like, well, I believe this, but I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Is a weird thing, because I think the second you do that, it's kind of what you're really doing, but most people don't want to acknowledge is, I don't believe this organization knows what the fuck they're talking about. I think there's something, but they don't have it right. And I think that that's okay. But why are you still going there?
Because then you're an agnostic, so you might as well just accept you're an agnostic and just.
Well, people try to play it safe. Like, if I do go to church, I'll be okay. You know, like, I'm sure they'll let
That's
me.
the one Doogie Howser episode I remember. That's weird. He was. Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Dennis. All right.
Thank you.
It actually had an effect on me to the point where when I was younger, this is what I followed, was like Doogie Howser was questioning religion. And if I remember correctly, like his Albert Einstein poster started talking to him about it.
Oh, I remember that. Why do I remember that?
And
You're gay.
And Einstein.
That's my Albert Einstein impression. By the way.
The way I remember it is I remember Einstein basically saying, like, you don't know what the reality is. So the safest bet is to just stick with the religion in case they're right. That was like the argument in it.
That's so bad.
But it was like a really closed-minded. It wasn't like, oh, religion. Like it was, from what I remember, it was like a pretty Christian, like, yeah, just stick with it and live that way and follow those rules. Because if they're right, you want to be doing the right thing. And if they're wrong, then you're just going to disappear when it's all over. Like that was kind of the argument. And that stuck with me. But, you know, the
Episode of Doogie Howser changed my life.
hey man, when you're a kid, like stuff like that sticks
That
with
in
you.
a conversation with Tim Duffy.
You know how I lost my faith in the whole Catholic Church? The pen. It was about a pen. It was about a pen. I wrote. There was a substitute teacher, and I was in the 3rd grade, and I wrote a note to my friend that she was a bitch, and I passed the note. And then she caught me, and she read it, and she told the principal, and Sister Mary Ellen fake kicked me out of school, because every year from the 2nd grade on, I was fake kicked out of school. They were just trying to, like, scare me because I wouldn't, like, conform to their whatever.
Because your parents are paying them.
So I had...
That's why they wouldn't. They don't want to lose the money.
But they
Yeah.
thought they were scaring me, so they kept kicking me out of
Yeah.
school. So I had this erasable pen, and she took it from me, the nun. And she said she'd give it back. And then I went back, and she said, no, I'll give it back to you at the end of the year. I went back to her at the end of the year, and she didn't give it back to me. And that's when I realized she was lying to me the whole time, and I lost faith in the whole church. Over a big erasable pen.
Wow.
Because you teach me not to lie, and now you're just lying straight. Just tell me you're not giving me the pen. Just tell me. I'm still pissed. I talk about it a lot. Rob knows. I still talk about it.
I don't blame you. It's amazing that I even went to church as a kid. I had Father Ralph and Travis, who was
Fuck that guy. No, I don't.
no fuck. He's dead, but fuck him.
I'm dead. Father Ralph.
So is Sister Mary Ellen. We used to call her Sister Harry Mellon.
Oh,
If you want that pen, you gotta come find it.
Father Ralph was
thick wrists. Sister Harry Mellon sounds a lot like Father Ralph.
yeah. They probably knew each
Father
other.
Ralph.
Well, he was a Monsignor with another complicated Polish name, so everybody went with Ralph with that guy. But he was one of the last to like stop speaking Latin, and he didn't do that when I was a kid, but he never stopped chanting. And people seriously, people my age don't know what that is, and that was the church for me. Like when we said the Our Father, the mass was you never saw more people sleep in church. It was crazy because it was literally Father Ralph up there going, Our Father, who art in heaven, and then we would all have to go, hallowed be thy name. The whole mass was like that, and I thought that was church. I didn't realize people were singing elsewhere, like having fun. This time I go, if I go into church now and people are singing, I'm like, this is fucking
You ever
weird.
go to Black Church?
Yes, once.
Oh, Black Church is amazing. I'm so atheist, but I would totally go to Black Church every Sunday if
Black
they let
church.
me.
He keeps saying black church.
Black Church.
is awesome.
But have you ever been to like a Baptist church or
I
something?
haven't been to black church.
I went. Do you know why I went to Black Church? I worked with That applause sign is the best.
Perfect. Perfect. I need this in my living room. Like,
Take it home with you.
When I worked at ShopRite, we used to do this program. They still do this program called Partners in Caring, where they collect like cans at the door or donations to like feed people who are hungry in the neighborhood. And they usually
video for that.
Oh, I think I talked about that before. That was the video I did trying to get fired from ShopRite. But that was what they would have. They would pick like the worst cashier and put them at the door just to keep them in one spot. And so don't ever give them money. Those are the kids that steal every fucking dollar you give them. Give them a can of corn, but don't give money to the people at ShopRite at the door. But we had this program. We raised a bunch of money, and there was like a church down on Bay Street that was giving ShopRite, in particular, this one manager, John. They were giving him an award to accept.
John. Man rocked a mullet.
And we'll probably be listening. Hi, John.
Hey, John.
Hi,
Nice
John.
mullet.
Nice mullet, John.
It's me, Father Brown.
Wait, did he go to black church? Is that why we're talking about this?
Well, John got asked to go to black church, and he didn't want to go. So he picked a guy who was like borderline retarded and sent him to accept the award.
Oh, retard church is way different than black church. You gotta go to retard church.
And he sent me to drive this guy. So I'm there with this guy who was just known for rocking back and forth and drooling in a ShopRite uniform. And now he's in my car in a suit, and I'm dressed in a ShopRite uniform, and I'm driving to this black church. And we got there, and it was like people like screaming and passing out, like doing the like shaking and getting carried out. And I'm there with this guy in a suit waiting for him to go up. And I'll never forget they were like, and now we want to give an award to this guy from ShopRite. And I'm just watching the show. He goes up and he's rocking, and they literally walked over to him with a handkerchief and they wiped the spit off his mouth. And then gave him an award and started singing about Jesus and passing out again. It was like one of the most beautiful things.
Did he turn around and look at you and go, "Who's the retard now?"
That was the one time I went to black church, and that was like the most fun I ever had for like minimum wage. Like, that was
Sounds like fun.
That was great. Yeah.
It's like that scene in the Blues Brothers. Like black church really is like that.
It really is like that. And it's fun, man. I mean, I didn't have that. I had Father Ralph chanting, and he had a growth on his pinky. And he used to say, "God loves me so much, he gave me an extra finger."
A lot of boys have said that too.
We had Father Dan. Father Dan raped a man.
Really?
In school, Father Dan raped a man. And we used to say,
Father Dan raped a man.
Father Dan got in trouble. He got shipped out of the school.
Harry Melons. You guys had some good
So
people.
we just, around the schoolyard, it was like, Father Dan raped a man. It's like, why am I in school? What is going on? Like, kids are getting molested.
Oh my
They're lying to me and
Yeah.
paying them money.
That's how I felt about the Cub Scouts.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you had a freaky Cub Scout thing?
Yeah.
Whoa! Wait.
He didn't do anything with me. But
Oh! Why, you just weren't good enough?
John, you could tell us. You could tell us. It's all right. You're safe here.
it's not much of a story. It was just this large Cub Scout leader with like a lazy eye that got in trouble.
Those are the most delicious
Typical.
kinds.
Very typical.
Well, yeah, it's like while he's screwing around with a kid, the one eye scanning around to make sure he's not getting caught.
Good friend of mine, his father was a cop. He's retired now, and his partner told me this story of they down here in a neighborhood called South Beach or Midland Beach. There's the boardwalk, which I think is still closed now from Hurricane Sandy. I think, but underneath it, a lot of guys used to go and hook up, right? Guys hooking up with other guys, and they would arrest people for like indecent shit, So they're dragging this guy out from under the boardwalk, and they're searching his car, and they found a bunch of child pornography. So they're like, all right, we're booking him. They bring him to the station house. This other cop in the station house kept doing the old, like, I know this guy from somewhere. It's flipped me out. And he finally realized it was like his kid's Cub Scout leader.
Yeah.
And this guy like would always tell me this story. He was like, I had to be there. I was like, oh my God. No, I didn't have to be there.
Here's the thing: if you, any Cub Scout leader or like Little League coach that doesn't have his own kids, that's just a fucking. I'm sorry, it's just like a weird. Doesn't mean everybody. My uncle who like coaches Little League, it's different now because he was even told like, thank you for coaching the team and this and that, and like at the end of practice when parents are picking up their kids, make sure that you're never left alone with just one kid.
Yeah.
If the next to last parent that comes to pick up their kid, waste their time and bullshit with them until the other parent shows up. Because you don't want to be alone with that kid. And don't touch the kids and everything. Because I also had, not in a sexual way, I got smacked on the ass a lot in Little League, and I think a lot of guys here will like attest to that. Like you go out to bat and you get like hit on the ass. We had the jockstrap checks where they'd go around with a bat and tap you between the legs to make sure you had a cup on. Oh yeah.
I was in
We didn't get sexually harassed in softball.
No,
I didn't.
Well, you didn't have to wear cups.
Why, I wasn't.
Second, right? Girls don't have to wear cups, right?
No, we don't have to wear cups.
I don't know. You didn't take a ball down there, so I broke my clit, coach. Like, you don't know.
No, we didn't wear cups.
Like a cup on each boob.
Can you imagine? I'd like girls wearing like a bunch of girls with bulges out playing baseball.
I don't know. I'm not a girl. Well, I was in Little League for like a half a second. My father, super sports guy, was like, I'm going to put you in Little League. And I would stand out in the outfield and pick flowers and chase.
Oh, we're cut from the same cloth, man. I would wear
my glove on my head and be like, look at my hat. Like, I thought that was hilarious. But I had this weird coach who, all I can remember about him, he just made me uncomfortable. He used to yell, Honey Chuck! And I don't know what it meant. Honey Chuck! Like over and over again. And I would get like really uncomfortable. I still don't know what a Honey Chuck means.
I don't know. Does anybody know what that is? Nobody.
What's term? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think there's enough people here who we can say that's not a term.
I don't even know what you're saying.
I remember like,
Maybe you would.
I would get so upset. Like, this guy would be yelling. I'd be like, and I'd be crying with a glove on my head. Like, it was weird.
I was forced to play Little League, man.
Me too.
My dad, that's what he wanted me to do. I used to pick up my foot, like when I would swing the bat, he put a brick on my foot and used to throw balls at me.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he put like a cinder block on my foot so I wouldn't lift it anymore.
Oh my goodness.
It was like really crazy. I was on a team.
We should do that.
My team was, yeah, you should do that. That works. I stopped picking my foot up. My team was the Loyal Order of the Moose, and Moose was spelt wrong on the hat.
How was
It's about mouse.
It was like mouse. I was like Loyal Order of the Mouse. And I used to just be out in the outfield dreaming, just not paying attention to things. And the ball, like they'd hit the ball and just angry parents mad at me that I wouldn't run after it. And even as a kid, I was like, why? Like, who gives a shit? Like, that was always me as a kid, but I was always like pressured into that. And I quit. And just real quick, my brother's genuinely a sports guy, but my father embarrassed the shit out of him because when my parents got divorced, they went through this crazy, my father went through this midlife crisis. And I realized he's like my age at this time with 2 kids and like single. So it was a lot of just like drinking, and he got into tanning. He showed up at my brother's Little League game, and I'm in the bleachers, and my dad strips down to a banana hammock. And he set up a fucking beach chair next to the bleachers. So I'm leaning against somebody else's father, like a firefighter, pretending that's my dad. While my dad's like laying out in the sun with like his balls hanging out. And my poor brother is playing the game, and my brother gets pulled out of the game and gets put on the bench, and my father gets up and fights with the coach in a banana hammock in front of like everybody else's parents. While I leaned against like somebody else with like an FDNY t-shirt, like just literally like leaning against another man. So like it looked like that was my dad. Yeah.
That's insane.
My dad kicked me out of a game once. like kicked me. He was the coach.
Oh, I was gonna say, was he the coach or did he come out and be like,
He kicked me off of the. He kicked me out of the game because the girl, like other girls, were making fun of one girl. I really wasn't. I don't think I took part in it. I might have. I probably did.
but he threw you out?
He threw me out. He didn't throw anybody else out. Everybody was annoyed. This girl used to get up. She used to hold her bat. She was very unenthusiastic. And she just like went, "Mrr," and like the bat fell down.
She's up there honey chucking,
She didn't even try. She was a fucking honey chucker. She didn't even try. That's what he meant. Now that I come to think of it. He kicked me out, so I went to the other team's bleachers and I started cheering for the other team because even at 9 years old, I was a bitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say you must have.
Wow. Well, good for you, though.
What the fuck? I'm his kid. He throws me out of the game.
That almost sounds like a move that he made intentionally, though, right? Like almost to show that like I'm not.
Out, yeah.
There's no favoritism here.
No, I'm thinking it's more like there's gonna be some shit and I don't want to be involved. Let me take my
it was a
daughter
dickhead
out.
move.
No.
It was. I
that's
got kicked
funny.
off of my softball. I was in softball forever. In high school, I used to. This is unrelated to why I got kicked off the team, but I once drank a quarter of a bottle of vodka and went to practice.
How old are you?
14.
Wow.
And then
Applause.
I just fell. They were, the pop-ups, like, and you're supposed to go catch the pop, and every time they hit one to me, I would fall down. And the coach was like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all right." But I was so drunk. I was 14. I drank a half a bottle.
Wow.
Later on, in sophomore year, this girl's talking shit to me. I was like, "Say that after the fucking game." The umpire heard me. They kicked me off.
Oh, and that was the end of softball for you?
They kicked me off the team, and then the varsity coach wanted to pick me up, and they said no because I guess they were punishing me. And then I went towards a life of drugs and alcohol.
So I always think you were a maniac, but I didn't know you played softball.
It's true.
And she could have been
second base.
She could have been a professional softball player.
Could have been a lesbian.
I could have been a lesbian. No, I wasn't a lesbian. That's why I didn't make it. I could have been. Too bad.
That is too bad. But
Sorry, Frank. I didn't mean that.
Did you enjoy softball?
I did.
That's cool. Because I was forced to.
Yeah, I never enjoyed any.
And you have kids now. I mean, I believe if your kids show zero interest in anything, I do think you force them out of the house to do shit until something sticks. But I was the kid that was like, I want to play guitar. And it was like, fucking put your glove on. I'm going to throw balls at your head in the backyard. But I had other interests, But I do think... yeah, because a lot of kids now don't even want to go outside.
Luckily, I had a very sensible mother. Like I was forced into this crazy crap by my dad, but then my mother knew like I just like doing artwork, and she was like totally embraced that
and pushed that.
Me do.
That's cool.
A bunch of cops just opened the door. Did you see that?
Did they really?
Yeah, and they guys put it away. What's going on? It's weird. Cops are.
Uh-oh. Are you shutting? Why are the
cops on the show?
Why are the police here?
On the show?
Wait, Frank, come take my bag.
I have a PBA card in the car.
My dad's a captain.
My stepfather was part of the Manhattan South Task Force.
My balls are hanging out.
Sal, is this the last episode? Okay.
We heard some people talking about honey chucks in here. We're combing the area for some honey.
Look at it. What are you leaving? What is this? The 50s? What are you give them a bottle and $100?
Get them back here.
Oh, my grandfather owned the bar.
Yeah.
He told the cops to go fuck themselves and got arrested.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Because he had a gambling ring and he was selling cigarettes behind the bar. This is John Szeluga. He got thrown into jail, wanted to speak to his lawyer, and he turned around and his lawyer was in the jail cell. His lawyer got arrested for something else that night.
Just totally coincidental.
Totally coincidental. He wanted to speak to his lawyer, and they were like, "Who's your lawyer?" And they were like, "Yeah, go ahead."
Wow.
But he got out of it. It was all just under the table bullshit. Yeah, I mean, it was old school, man. He owned Johnny's Bar and Grill, which is now Denoy, for anybody who cares. But that was my grandfather's bar at the end of Victory in Travis. It was a real old man bar.
Yeah.
And there used to be like a lot of gambling and stuff there. But he did that for 30 years.
That's awesome.
Coolest thing about him was like on his deathbed, talking to him about bartending, and he said he was like, I genuinely loved what I did for 30 years. That was like
How old
his.
was he when he died?
90. Are we checking phone messages again? What happened?
Chris has a story to tell.
I got a long story to tell.
Oh, is it bathroom break time? Laura's going to the bathroom, and
Take off your cup.
But
Don't pee with your cup on.
that's not even that's a part of the show.
Yeah.
Is we do take bathroom breaks without stopping. I remember I listened to the second episode where I do it the first time, and Archie Daniels on the show, and he's like, "Wait, what? Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back." Like, I don't, and nobody's listening anymore. I'm gonna go after her. I'm not gonna leave you here alone.
You can leave me alone. It's all right.
I'd be curious to hear what a podcast of just you talking would be.
You really don't want it.
I'm curious. But let's see. So is this about the trip? Because we do have to get into that before we end. Well, you said you wanted to talk about the trip down to New Orleans. Oh, she's back. All right, it's my turn.
All right.
Oh.
All right, so we're talking about...
So glad. So like John had to go. So because I went, he was able to go.
Yeah.
Now you have to go too.
No, I'm good. I'm
You want to
good.
get somebody else up here? No.
I'm good. Everybody else wants to come on. You could jump on the mic.
Where'd Ezra go? He's always. Like,
I know.
wants to
He's
be in the
cleaning his
microphone.
apartment. I don't know what's going on.
Cleaning his apartment?
You're from Missouri.
Yeah, it might be. Yes, this is what he told me he was doing. I was like, come on, Ez.
That's lame.
I know. We were going to do Louisiana guy.
Gay stuff. No, now you know what? I'm done with that.
You're done with that?
All these we're in New Orleans. These guys are like, oh, put a crawfish on your face, and it's like, oh, enough.
His mother, who was at the trip, 'cause friends with Nick and Lindsay as well, had said that somebody was going to punch us in the face. They're like, someone who lives down here is going to punch you two in the face.
It's true.
We didn't get punched in the face, but
But you probably only talked to people that you knew.
no,
Already.
we did. We were on the street.
Yeah, but that was like the crazy people, like that crazy guy that we paid money to sing.
Oh, my black bum. Old black bum. All right. Old black bum comes up to me singing. So no teeth, nothing. Yeah, he was sweetheart. He was a gem. So I'm like, he's like, yo, you got some money? I really appreciate it. Sitting on the morning sun, like pulling that shit. All right, old black bum. Here's $50. And he looked at me like I was nuts. I was like, I want you to hang out the whole time and just sing to us. I'm wrecked. I'm like, here's $50. Sing the whole night, old black bum. He was like, oh, Jesus Christ, thank you. So happy. So he starts belting some tunes, and so I'm turning around and talking to somebody.
He couldn't sing.
And I
He was
turned
like
back.
singing tunes. He wasn't singing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you know any Bill Withers? He started doing some Bill Withers. I was happy with that. Then I turned around after talking to somebody, and old black bum left. I was like, where's this guy? I just paid $50 to sing the whole night. I was gonna take him around to every bar with us.
But what did he sound? So he wasn't. You said he wasn't really singing. What did it sound
He
like?
was like sitting on the dock. I don't know. It wasn't real singing. It wasn't real singing. It was just
an old black
a
bum.
toothless old black man like saying songs in a melodical kind of way.
I was just mad because I gave him a bunch of money. I turned around and my bum was gone. He just like, who would have thought a bum would take your money and run?
Who would have thought a guy on the street would take your money and then run away?
So how much
Sorry you
fun?
were disappointed.
How much fun was that trip? And how much? Because you're.
Amazing.
Here's the thing, like Laura, you're down there with family,
Yes.
but your brother-in-law is getting married, and he's the craziest man on the planet.
It's true.
Yeah.
In a good way. Like I'm a huge Nick. I met your brother-in-law. I was working backstage during a production of Bye Bye Birdie, and he was playing Conrad Birdie and wearing a one-piece gold sequence jumpsuit.
I was singing "We Love You, Conrad." Conrad with my 2-year-old daughter at that time because Nick was in that
Because
show.
he was in that show. So that's how I met Nick. And for a long time, I just called him Conrad every time I saw him. But Nick's
Very much
Nick's one of my
Conrad.
favorite people. But I know that whole thing must have been a crazy party. But you also have to
Be his fan.
interact with the family. So what was that? How was that trip for you?
It's good.
You know what? I'm jealous. I
Does this get
didn't
broadcast nationally?
Internationally.
It was
Yeah, we have
really good.
listeners in the.
That's the weirdest thing when I look at the stats and like somebody like one person in Russia listened and I'm like, how did that happen? I was like, oh, because we put hentai as a keyword.
Yeah.
So some pervert in Russia listened and got really disappointed.
It was a little weird. We had to stay in the house. It's Nick's house with his wife.
This house is awesome, by the way. That's a
But when his in-laws
nice
come,
house.
they stay in the house with them. So we had to it was Nick, his future in-laws, and me and my children.
Okay.
And it was just a little, it was a little weird.
I was really jealous. I saw you guys went to the... No, not that you had to stay with somebody's
Keep going.
in-laws.
Keep going.
No, that you guys got to visit the cemeteries and you saw Nicolas Cage's future
Yes.
grave.
Well, we just like there's those tour guides, and you pay
wish I
$30
saw-
to go on these tours with these people.
Wait, but that's a thing?
That's a thing. So we
It's a
just
giant
hitched on to the
pyramid.
back of a. I have the picture. We just
so
got onto the
jealous.
back of one of these tours, and we just followed them around. And Nicolas Cage, $280,000 it cost him to build this pyramid that says something in Latin.
National Treasure 3.
Wow, that's a real thing that you can go
Waiting
see?
for him. Yeah, it's waiting for him.
Oh.
It's the same
That's-
cemetery
that's
as Marie
insane.
Laveau.
That's insane.
That's so crazy. I want to see it though.
I could only see it through pictures because I couldn't go, unfortunately. The
Why
one
couldn't
day
you go?
we went, me and Dr. Dre and Darren and Rob. we went. The one day we were sober enough to go out and about. They were closed because it was Easter.
As if you can't go to a cemetery. That's ridiculous. The one place everybody should go on Easter is a cemetery.
But you know what? I
You
was
kidding me?
at a strip club with Ezra until 6 a.m. on Easter.
Amen.
But I couldn't go to a cemetery and see Nicolas Cage's fucking pyramid.
I can't believe that's a thing. But how was we didn't talk about what you did down there. I'm glad you're alive.
I did a lot of things down there. Yeah, I'm glad I'm alive. One more day probably would have killed me down there. That's a wild town. Let's put it this way. I was there, 3 days? I went there with like $2,000. Spent it all in 3 days.
Yeah.
Hell,
Wow.
what did you do? I spent that much for the whole entire vacation. I was there for a week.
For those of you listening, Ezra, who was hanging out with Chris, is slowly clapping at the bar.
This guy's running around giving $50 to fucking bums on the street singing songs badly. Like, what else? Who else did
Well,
you
he
give money
was
to?
toothless.
So he got an extra 20 for that.
I was angling for a gummy.
I'm guessing.
And he got it.
No, he ran away.
No, shut up. He got it.
I had a dry
No,
dick.
that's
No,
right.
I remember saying that. Where's my black bum? He left.
Where's my black bum?
I think that was the deal. You offered him $100 if you stayed.
Oh, you offered him
I did.
more money than.
I do not.
See, the thing
I
is,
was just
you
throwing money.
shouldn't
I
give
didn't
money
give
to
a
the
fuck.
bum before he sings all the songs. You string him along.
I wanted him to just stay. Like I wanted to go
Then
everywhere
you
with
shouldn't have
him.
given him the money. You should have just kept telling him he was going to get the money. Come on, don't you
Yeah.
know bums?
No, I don't know any bums.
Should have just. That's not true.
Yeah,
I've met more bums through you.
that's true.
That's not even a lie. It's like, oh, this is Puerto Rican Santa Claus. Here's Crazy Carl.
Crazy Carl is the greatest bum you will ever meet. He talks with his hands. So I know this is not a video.
But
Italian?
but imagine.
No, not like hey, yeah, like
No. Index finger and thumb up and down like a little bird's beak.
like someone stole his puppet. Like he's like, hey, Malaka.
He talks in the third
Fuck
person.
you in the ass. Yeah, Crazy Carl would fuck you in the ass.
And it was like he called himself the old man a lot.
Yeah.
The story we always heard was that he got arrested and he was in court and they had him handcuffed and he wasn't talking until they took his cuffs off and he was like, the old man can't talk without his hands.
Yeah.
And they took his handcuffs. I was like, thank you very much, Malaka. And the fingers came out. I used to love that guy. Chris worked in a bagel store and he was a regular customer. And the whole reason we stopped talking to Crazy Carl was Chris got up to like get something in the back or whatever. Yeah. Crazy Carl, I wish that you had this because the cops took it.
Best tape I've ever seen.
But the security camera was supposedly Crazy Carl sitting at the counter, getting up, walking to the other end of the store.
A coat over his head.
Still on camera, threw a coat over his head, and then came back and stole money out of the register and ran away.
Yeah. He robbed the plate, like all on camera.
And that was the end of him. But my favorite thing that he said was talking with, he would had the one hand going. He was like, "You make the old man angry," and then he pulled the other hand out. He goes, "You get the double hands."
Yeah.
Wait,
That
did
was
he
my
do it
favorite.
with 2 fingers like you're doing it? Or did he do it like this?
No,
It was 2 fingers, the index finger and thumb, up and down.
Like imagine you're just pinching somebody. It looks like that, folks. Like, hey, Malaka. It was just bizarre.
Yeah, you got to read between the lines, Malaka.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
I'm gonna start doing that to my kids. When you better right now. I just put my finger.
But yeah, you've known a lot of crazy
yeah, that's true.
homeless, and I've met all of them.
I miss Puerto Rican Santa Claus. You think he's still alive?
No,
Oh, Jim.
no, California Jim.
California. Wait,
You know California Jim?
As an applause.
was he on the ferry all the time?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
California. You just called him California?
Yeah.
California Jim, or Puerto Rican Santa Claus.
Yeah.
He definitely wasn't Puerto Rican, but
Oh, he wasn't Puerto Rican, right? Because he had gray hair, blue eyes.
yeah,
California?
yeah.
Oh, nice.
Looked like he spent his life fighting cats.
I mean, I was just gonna bring up that guy, and then I'm like, no, that's not the same guy. But it is.
If you don't smile, you're not having a good day. Like he would yell shit like that. I was like, all right.
That's still one of my.
Makes sense.
I used to give him like my food. Like if I was in the city, I'd be like, "You're California, Jimmy's my leftovers."
We have a lot of video of him. We used to come back from the city and just talk to him, and you put the camera on, and he just went crazy. Yeah. And he always got really close to it. Anybody ever showed the videos to got really uncomfortable.
You would pass out from his breath through a video. It was amazing.
But yeah, he was one of my favorites.
Does anybody remember when the ferry terminal used to be crazy and it would be like it's cleaned up, like it's New York. Anybody not here? Anybody listen? New York is completely a different place after Giuliani.
Post 9/11.
Yeah.
Well, they intentionally put seating in it's difficult to sleep on the seats that are provided.
That's not fair.
homeless
I
bum
don't agree with that.
Remember? Yeah, it was like
Homeless people. I want to see homeless people in the ferry. Like, I feel bad. Like, why shouldn't they be able to take a nap? Like, where else are they going to go? Just go take a nap
Shine
at the
guy.
ferry.
Shine. Does anybody remember there was this black dude with a cart with a bunch of stuff,
Oh.
and he would sell, he'd be like, "I got it all in my little shopping mall," and he'd have those Flintstone shirts, but like dressed like crisscross with this shit backwards, like real 1991. And be like, Pebbles and Bam Bam, you know they're the Jam Jam. Like this guy used to yell. Like,
Yep.
Best advertising slogan I've ever heard. Pebbles and Bam Bam, you know they're the Jam Jam.
I still remember one of my favorite things with you was we were going to either like Carvel or Dunkin' Donuts at Richmond and Victory when they used to be there. And I parked the car, we get out, and there's this small little Asian lady with a brown paper bag full of like DVDs. And she's like, DVD? And Chris rips his wallet out and he goes, "Police, fucking freeze!" And he threw her against the wall. And she was like, you remember this? She's trembling. And then here's the best. He grabs the bag and goes, "No, I'm just fucking around. You got any porno?" And she's like shaking and teary-eyed. And then you bought Chubby Suckers, I remember. You bought a copy of Chubby Suckers and then we ate ice cream.
I can't front. I've always liked the larger ladies.
That was a good day.
Yeah. A good day for chubby suckers everywhere. Bad day for Asian bootleggers.
Asian ladies.
I think I soyed my sauce.
It's the funniest fucking thing, man. So great.
Thank you. Two people laughed. But they laughed really long at that.
So.
Oh, boy.
All
right, so we were going to say, when we do close, we were going to close with a Wahoo song. Obviously not here, but on the home recording. We're going to play.
You're going to play the washboard. You're going to do a solo.
What's your favorite song we recorded?
Oh,
so when we play
Christ's sake. I don't know.
Come on, you get to it.
What do you? Do I have to sing it?
No, you're not singing. We're playing it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I gotta do this.
No, I can't. I don't like.
It's bacteria, isn't it?
No, I don't like picking things.
I don't.
You know the bacteria.
I don't like having to choose things.
All right, then I'm gonna pick.
Yeah, you pick it.
All right.
But we do want to close out with a Wahoo song. So for anybody who's listening to this and they don't know the Wahoo Skiffle Crazies.
Yeah, we didn't talk about our band. We should plug our band.
Plug the band.
When did we meet you? I was actually thinking about that. Like, when did the Wahoos first start?
Started 10 years ago this season.
Yeah. And I met you like 8 years
very randomly. And then Chris was a guy who was like, I love this band.
Well, because, I mean, yeah, we used to always ask you to play.
DVD release party. Yeah,
right, how did we get with you guys?
I knew.
I am a fucking piece of shit.
He once wrote a letter to everybody that he knew that because he got caught doing naughty things by his fiance.
Now wife,
he wrote a letter to everyone and said, I am a fucking piece of shit. And we say it all the time. Is he going to hear this?
He might. Yeah, because he listens to
his name.
He listens to Opie and Anthony.
Gabe,
he might listen.
We
to
haven't
this.
seen you in many years.
You're gonna appreciate this when I officially met him because when
Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Emperor bartender.
For those of you listening, it's time to have a drink. I feel like we need to say that every once in a while. Rewind, go back to all the previous times we rang the bell and drink, and then come back to this point.
And then fit it where you shit it. That's what we're gonna stop telling.
That's our new closer, right? Fit it where you shit it.
Fit it where you shit.
That's right.
We're gonna close with that. I thought that was just something we
Oh, you just want to say it constantly?
randomly talk.
When I met Gabe, he had like bright blue hair.
Right, I remember.
And I was a student at the College of Staten Island, and he was the guy who gave tickets to people who were like didn't have parking passes.
That surprised me. I'm not surprised.
So I remember I was going to class, and I turned around and I saw him writing a ticket for my car. And because I was trying to get away without having a parking pass. So anyway, time goes by. We're doing comedy. Apparently was like in the audience and knew it. And he came up to me at a bar and he was like, hey, you're the guy that does comedy and stuff. I saw your show. I like what you do. And I went, oh, you're the asshole that gave me a ticket. And he got so uncomfortable. And I was like, nah, I'm just fucking around. But that's actually how I discovered the Wahoo Skiffle Crazies. Because you guys have been through several members. The one that fascinates... Here's
22.
Wow.
Here's what I do want to ask, and I don't know how much you can say, but the one that I'm the most interested in that I know the least about is
Don't say his name.
Do it.
Don't say his name.
I don't know his name. Is the guy that Chris replaced.
All right, because you say his name 3 times, he'll...
Oh. No, we can talk about it.
Because, and just to let everybody know, it was kind of this small little guy with like a crazy beard, and it's like a Staten Island jug band, but this guy looks like the guy who should be playing the jug in every jug band.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's
legitimately crazy. Is he going to hear? Can we talk about this? He's really crazy.
If you can't.
No, he's schizophrenic, and we didn't know it at first. And it's not funny that he's schizophrenic.
We worked with somebody
but then he did
similar
funny schizophrenic things. Is that okay? Like, I'm looking at him like, can you tell me it's okay to?
If our audience approves, it's morally acceptable.
Guy is
You know,
just
at
hard
first
to handle.
we were like, he did a lot of drugs. Oh, he is a good guy. And Hardy's a very
Yeah.
good guy. But we were like, oh, he did a lot of drugs. You know, like we excused it until he started doing things like he came to practice and we had all these. This is when Joe had the studio on Forest Avenue. The Red Room studio was on Forest Avenue.
Okay.
And he had the walls like packed with like amps and speakers. And dude came in and climbed like Gollum, like all over them. And he was like, oh, and then he stole our marijuana and he ran out the door. And we're like, all right, clearly there's like something wrong. And then we found him under a rug at a party. And we're like, all right, this is it. And he kept showing up at people's houses and just sitting on their doorsteps, or he would like come to the house and like he would see my dad and he would say, how are the kids? And my dad was like freaked out. But at heart, I mean, I don't think he was really like gonna hurt anybody.
I didn't know him. Like after shows, I would always shake his hand and say, "Nice job."
So
So basically-
popping up everywhere. Like we were playing a gig, like
In the city, in the village.
I don't remember. It was like an outside thing. It was like a kid thing. And then later on, we took a walk to Criff Dogs to eat, and he like came by on a bike. Like, hey guys.
The joke is, if you say his name 3 times, he shows up, because several times we've talked about him, and then
he shows up.
Yeah.
Because I do think that people who are like schizophrenic are on another wavelength, and they're on like a psychic wavelength. Because there were times where we were in practice, and I would think about like, holy fuck, he's really crazy, and then he would look at me like the monkey in Family Guy. I'm serious. And it's like he's reading my mind right now. So that's who Chris replaced. That's who.
Well, I love that. It's like we need to replace this guy, and you fit the bill.
There was a time when they were both playing together. I don't even know how he got in the band. Annabelle was in the band at the time, and she was like afraid that this crazy guy was outside, and then all of a sudden he was on stage playing with us. And she's like, who is this guy?
Oh, really?
That's how he joined the band. Like, I don't know. Does anybody know?
I thought he was just like an old friend of yours.
No,
that
he
you guys
just he used to go to Cargo.
Did he turn it into a jug band? Because that's what he.
We were jug band already. We were jug band already. But
Was somebody else playing the jug before him?
Nobody was playing the jug. We just very randomly started the jug band based on a lie. I don't know how it happened.
Okay.
We told Rob Music that Kurt Cobain had a brother named Rob Cobain who played the ukulele, and he believed it. And then
Rob Music who plays guitar
and then
sings.
my husband got a ukulele right after that.
Yeah.
And then we just started a jug band. So it's all kind of based on a lie that we started.
Wow. Well, it's one of my favorite bands. It's why I started playing ukulele at home, just like screwing around and stuff. And it's amazing that Chris and Brian McGowan, who are 2 of my best friends, wound up in the band.
Yeah.
Well,
Just-
at some point we lost all the members of our band. So we just had to like take fans and like make them band members. So
But this current group has been together now
like
for
5
a long
years.
time, and I don't think anybody's going anywhere.
we
Yeah,
sweat each
no,
other.
this is-
So we're gonna be ending this, but yeah, for those of you listening, we're gonna end with a Wahoo song. Do you want to pick the song you're gonna end with?
Yeah, I'll pick the song. I like Dance of the Platypus. That's my favorite.
Dance of the Platypus.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
instrumental. Wait, real quick.
Real quick, go.
Do you have a story you could tell? The nerdiest thing
Oh, that's right.
ever you've ever seen, done, heard about? Like just the weirdest, nerdiest thing you can think of.
If you need a minute, I will
dressed
say
up-
this: we try to do this every episode. Last episode, Chris got so drunk that we forgot this part. But that episode, we interviewed the owner of a comic book shop and people who do a Ghostbusters shadow cast. So I think that episode by itself is one of the nerdiest fucking things that's ever happened. So I'm gonna say that passed already. Like if you ask the people who dress up like Ghostbusters and act out the movie in front of the screen what the nerdiest thing that ever happened was, they can just say like the thing that we
Thursday.
right
Yesterday. I told
So-
the nerdiest thing that I do.
that you do or you've heard or
Someone
No,
else
I have a
does.
nerdy thing. I don't do many nerdy things. But I have a nerdy thing. I dress up in medieval costumes, and I go to a camping event and where 10,000 to 15,000 other people dress up in medieval costumes, and we burn light fires and we say "Milady."
It's called Pennsic, right?
It's called Pennsic, and my name is Lila Uccidere de Galline,
Oh wow! Look at that.
killer of chickens.
That's I think that qualifies. I think that works.
That's pretty nerdy, right? All right.
All right, everybody, please give it up for our guest, Laura Brewery Williams, everybody, of the Wahoo Skiffle Crazies. We're going to close with a song.
The only non-juice things I put in a juice would be cinnamon sometimes.
Okay. Well, cinnamon's good for you.
Oh, yeah? I didn't even know.
That's what I heard. I put it in my coffee every day.
Really?
No
That's a good
sugar.
idea.
Coffee black with cinnamon.
Yeah, I just do it with half and half. That's the only thing I do with the juice. The only cheat I have is half and half.
Is half
Can't
and
give
half?
up half and half, yeah.
Okay. You're looking good?
Thanks. I tried almond milk. I thought of you. I just
Didn't
couldn't.
dig it?
I heard with the cereal it wasn't bad. The kids had it.
Cereal, it's good.
But with coffee, you know what it is? I don't like milk in coffee. I like cream, so
and
it just
almond
didn't
milk
work.
is really watery for coffee.
Yeah, it just didn't
Cereal
work
you
out
wouldn't
for
notice.
me.
Honestly, if I gave it a
That's
bowl
what I heard
of it,
with the kids.
you
Yeah,
might not know.
that's what I did with the rest of it because
Yeah.
I bought a whole. You can't buy a little thing. I had to buy a whole like half gallon.
I'll do that. I make smoothies with it.
Yeah, or
I haven't had it in a
quart, not
while,
half
though.
gallon.
So yeah, you want to do this?
Oh yeah,
I'm recording already.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Hey, that's our real voice. That's what we really sound.
That's what we
like.
really sound
We talk
like.
about almond milk.
Yeah.
We're not funny in real life. That's
No.
that's fake us.
Yeah, we have. This is sober Saturday.
Yeah,
You got your kids in the other room.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
like just talking about coffee,
Yeah.
like a couple of moms.
That's us. Couple of moms.
I like that. The View. I like that.
Yeah,
It's a good program.
it is.
Yeah,
Multiple
informative.
women talking at once. I love it.
Me too.
Sharing their
What goes
opinions.
on in my head.
Oh man.
I like that Dr. Fuzz. Who's Dr. Fuzz?
Dr. Fuzz.
Dr. Fuzz.
It's when you get on the View. Dr. Fuzz is here to open up the bag of hate mail.
That anti-Semite, Dr. Fuzz.
Well, I guess at this point, we'll play some Wahoo Skiffle Crazies, right? You should be listening to the Wahoos
yeah.
right now.
Which, if you don't know the Wahoos, because we didn't really get into the Wahoos too much in the episode, Laura, I do mention that she plays washboard and
harmonica. And she does
sings
some vocals
backup.
too. Yeah. Yeah.
I play the jug and the slide whistle, and yeah, it's a good jug band. We do a lot of folk music, a lot of like strange covers here and there. Like once in a while, we'll cover a non-jug song, but we'll put a jug arrangement to it. And yeah, give it a listen to. The kids love us. We're good.
I love the band. I mean, you and I started out as fans of that band before
Yeah.
you were in it.
Exactly.
Chris and I, we would do comedy shows, and whenever we had to book a band, they were the go-to band.
Yeah.
They were always the first group we asked.
Well, this year's going to be 10 years the band's been together. I've only
Wow.
been in the band. This will be my 6th year.
Is it really already?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're having a big show at the end of the year.
Cool.
I'll plug that later.
Okay.
I'm not going to do plugs now.
Well, for
right?
now, check out the album.
Yeah, check out Strange Tales of the Amazing Platypus.
Yeah.
Which I did all the artwork for.
And you can get that on Amazon. You can find that Spotify and other places. It's everywhere.
Bandcamp.
Yeah.
A couple of places. Yeah, check it out. It's a really, really good album. I guess the tracks we're going to play from that you're playing now are from that album, right?
Yeah. I'll pull
okay.
everything from
yeah,
there.
So there you go. So what you're hearing right now, not my phone dropping.
is that what that
That's
was?
what that was.
That's all right.
I just plotzed over here. But what you're listening to is from Strange Tales of the Amazing Platypus.
Yeah, great song, and maybe when that plays out, I'll throw another one on at the end of this too.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely check out the Wahoo Skiffle Crazies. And big thanks to Laura Brewery Williams.
Yeah,
Awesome. She'll be back on the next episode. She actually comes back and she reads a letter from her childhood.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
So she'll be back very, very soon.
Yeah, she
you'll hear
comes
that
on
next.
time to time and does a little something. She's become like a regular guest here and there. Also funny, something really weird happened just the other night, coincidentally. I came home from work and I don't think we got into it in the show yet, but I turned my car into like an Ecto one kind of. I put Ghostbuster decals all over my car, and it's pretty cool. So I got home from work the other night, and I just went right to bed. I'm shot. I've been working a lot. And next morning, I get in my car and I see a ticket. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So I grab it, and it's like a summons, and it actually says on it, it's not, for the police or anything. It's like a fake one, I guess, that you give to people. It's called Notice of Inconsideration, and it's mostly like boxes that you check if like people are taking up two parking spots or double parked. It's like people are assholes. You leave it in a car. But with mine, it was checked off for other, and it said for displaying prejudice imagery promoting hatred towards paranormal entities. So I was like, who left? This is insane. I thought it was really funny because first you got me. Yeah. And I'm not an easy guy to get. You got me. And then I read it and it cracked me up. It made my day. So I posted on Facebook later on, and it turns out it was Laura Brewery Williams.
Perfect timing too. It's like right before we put this out.
And just oddly in my neighborhood. She doesn't even live anywhere near me.
Yeah.
Just slap that on my windshield, and I love her for that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
To be able to get me like that is fucking good.
Yeah, and with the fake ticket, where somebody else would have just keyed the word nerd into the side of your car. That's cool, man.
Lord knows
well,
that
you sent
happens.
that to me before you even knew who that was. So
yeah,
so
you
funny.
said who did that. I had no clue, but it cracked me up.
Oh, man. All right. Well, what else? As always, this show is brought to you by Audible.
Oh, the fine folks at audible.com.
The fine folks. And you can get a free audiobook download today by going to audibletrial.com/superliveadventure. So check that out.
Yeah,
helps the show out.
You have a recommendation for us there, John?
Well,
something
originally,
you want to download?
you asked me to search for thing.
Pennsic, the thing Laura does.
Right. So Pennsic does this thing. Laura does this thing called Pennsic, which is like this medieval kind of like cosplay. I couldn't find that word, but I did do a search for cosplay. 14 results on audible.com.
Who knew so much cosplaying going on?
So if you want to get a free audio book download on us, again, that's audibletrial.com/superliveadventure. This week we are recommending.
This is also in tribute to Laura Brewery Williams.
In tribute, yeah, because this is the kind of thing she's into. So we have Crimson Carla Takes a Stranger's Cock, cosplay sex heroes. I'll skip ahead. We also have Maya Tied Down, a cosplay lesbian sex erotica story.
Laura's gonna love that one.
This one is nice. It has a picture of Lara Croft from Tomb Raider on the cover, and it's called "The Adventurer Gets Banged."
Quick and to the point.
Oh my God! Let me skip ahead. Oh, this is the one I know you're gonna love.
Subtlety than any of this.
This one's called Gang.
Oh no! Oh no!
Gang banged at the convention.
The Stan Lee story.
Oh my God.
Gang banged at the convention.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So there you go. I think, well, there's a bunch, but anyway, if you want to hear, I imagine a woman read one of these.
Banged at the convention. I will never go back to Comic-Con.
Yeah, do us a favor. Download that. It helps the show out. And the next time you go to New York Comic Con, just have that playing on a loop as you walk around.
Wait for me in the bathroom. Holy shit.
Well, and another book I want to suggest, but it's not on Audible right now.
Yeah.
But our good friend RG Daniels, he was the first guest on the show.
Numero uno.
Comedian, very funny guy. He wrote a book called 10 Shows, and it's 10 short stories, fictional stories about stand-up comedy in New York. I finished the book this week, and it's really good.
Yeah, he
It's
tells
really
me it's
funny.
great. I gotta read it.
It's sad at times, and it's actually, even though it's a fictional story, it's a pretty accurate portrayal of like what it's like to be a stand-up comic in New York at the level that we're at. You know what I mean? Like doing these underground alternative shows and some of the things that you have to do and open mics and things like that. Really good book. So check that out. He has that up on Amazon. It's called 10 Shows. There's a link to that on my website as well. Just check it out.
Yeah, cool. I want to definitely check it out.
And you have a couple things you said you wanted to plug.
While we're on books, our favorite comic book store, Comic Book Jones, over at 2220 was it 2220 Forest Avenue over here in Staten Island. This Friday, the 29th, their day after Thanksgiving, they're having the Black Friday sale. Everything's 40% off. Doors open at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
It's a really good time. You save a lot of money right before Christmas. Great
first thing
idea.
in the morning, it's 40%, and then as it gets later, that percentage drops. But then even as late as 9 o'clock at night when they close, everything in the store is still 20%. So even if you can't get there first thing in the morning, it's a good deal.
Yeah, you're
just
still
go
gonna
down
save money.
and get those Christmas presents. Greg, I love that store.
Yeah.
There's a sale half the time that
I was just
I
there
walk in
before
there.
I came here to your house.
Yeah.
And picked up our books. And
Thank you for picking those up.
yeah, anytime, man, anytime. Yeah, I got some stuff John didn't even ask for. I grabbed this pull list. I know, I hear my
I
kids.
just hear your kids screaming in the
nuts.
bedroom. It's funny.
But yeah, you gotta let me know what it's DC Universe versus the Masters of the Universe. So I gotta see
I will.
how Batman and Man at Arms hash it out.
Yeah.
Because you know they're gonna come together, there's gonna be a fight, but then they're gonna all be on the same team. I think that's like the protocol for all team ups, right?
Yeah,
That's
usually.
like usually
right. You
how it
fight,
goes.
and then a couple kids get involved, and you save Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
That's usually how it ends,
Yeah.
right? I hope that's what happens.
Or they find somebody selling drugs and then they all team up and they're like, you know, I don't get along with you, Skeletor, but nobody sells drugs in Eternity. And
That's right.
Skeletor's like, I agree. And they all, cocaine is bad. But yeah. All right. So, and also, as I mentioned earlier, the 10-year anniversary of the Wahoo Skiffle Crazies, we will be having a big show December 14th at 120 Bay Cafe. It's a black tie event, so if you're going to come, wear your tux.
Yeah. Well, at Bay Cafe, you know, for anybody who's coming off of Staten Island, Bay Cafe is the easiest place to get to because it's a free ferry ride to Staten Island, and then Bay Cafe is walking distance. You walk
it's
right
a 5-minute walk.
Yeah, so come check it out. They have. That's a cool place.
Yeah.
Good food.
Do
Have
they
some
still
drinks
have the
and see the show.
mussels? You remember if they're still on the menu?
I think
when
so.
it used to be Cargo. I don't know. Can we mention that? It used
to be Cargo Cafe. A lot of people
Yeah.
still know it as that.
They had some mussels that were awesome.
I always got the pierogies over there, and
Oh,
they
yeah,
still have
yeah,
those.
yeah.
So check that out.
Yeah,
Anything else?
man.
Is that? I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean,
We'll play out with the kids that are screaming in the other room.
oh
Right?
yeah.
A little bit more from
stay
Wesley
tuned.
and Wyatt Sorrentino.
Yeah, you heard them at the beginning of this, and yeah, man, I'm still waiting for them to write my my life story and then put the book on Audible. Do you have any idea what I would call that book?
Oh, fit it where you should it, probably.
You want to say the Ghostbuster?
That pup,
Tell us about crossing the streams.
don't cross the stream with Slimer.
Why not?
Because it's bad for your body.
When can you cross the streams?
With Gozer Gates.
What happens when you close Gozer's Gate?
Save her food. My mouth, check for my middleman. Yeah, I think so, Wyatt.
my last vacation. Can't afford my medication. Ain't so choosy where to live in Van Doozy Day. So take the train and walk up the hill. There's a place that's in the thrill. The rhythm is the bluesy where to live in Van Doozy Day. I remember when the scene began. Just an insane, crazy plan. Now I walk around and wonder, is this sinful sway? There's a place that I know well. Me and my little mademoiselle. Have you heard the news where to live in Van Doozy Day? Doesn't matter who you love. Find yourself a turtle dove. Nothing is taboo where to live in Van Doozy Day. Never thought it would be this way. So many people coming out to play. Put on your dancing shoes, you wear to live in Van Doozy Day. I remember when the scene began. Every week a brand new band. Now I walk around and wonder, is this sinful sway? There's a place that I know well. Me and my little mademoiselle. Have you heard the news where to live in Van Doozy Day? The strangest notion, singers right back in the ocean. State try to choose where to live in Van Doozy Day. We got a culture in distribution. I like to call it a revolution. Come and join the koozie where to live in Van Doozy Day. I remember when the scene began. Just an insane, crazy band. Now I walk around and wonder, is this sinful sway? There's a place that I know well.